Kenyans should brace themselves for an expanded national budget of 2.4 trillion shillings in the 2018-2019 financial year from last year's 2.3 trillion shillings budget, according to the draft 2018 budget policy statement. And though the key priority for the budget is aligned towards the realization of the Big Four agenda, namely manufacturing, food security, and improved nutrition, universal health coverage and housing, the budget has factored additional resources with a special focus on social protection, culture and recreation, health, education, agriculture, as well as rural and urban development over the medium term.
It became a matter of concern to the Speaker, to the committee, Madam Speaker, that the implementation framework of the Big Four agenda is not very well articulated in the BPS. There appears to be a disconnect between the budget policy statement and the introduction of the Big Four agenda, and the BPS has not indicated any radical shift in its expenditure plans to reflect a clear plan of action towards achieving the Big Four plan. There is no indication that the Big Four resource requirements have been costed and phased out for implementation. Rather, the focus appears to be mostly on the targets and outputs which have no clear strategy on how the economy will get there.
The draft budget policy statement has placed a ceiling of 612.9 billion shillings for development expenditure, with most of the cash supporting critical infrastructure. Part of the development budget will be funded by project loans and grants from development partners, external borrowing, as well as domestic resources.
The debt management strategy as presented by government is consistent with the various macroeconomic indicators as contained in the budget policy statement of 2018. So it is very, very sad, Madam Speaker, if a member of parliament out there at a funeral start questioning the debt sustainability of our country. Madam Speaker, members of this House have the right to ask the Minister for National Treasury to bring the debt books, and he comes here and opens for the House.
With the county government set to receive a total of 372.7 billion shillings, representing 15% of the budget, questions have risen with regards to their spending formula, as aggregate expenditure exceeds exchequer releases. The National Treasury is exploring legal options to cap counties' own source revenue growth estimates based on their historical performance vis-a-vis potential.
At any one point in time, our total capital spending must exceed our net borrowing, both domestic and foreign, rather external and internal borrowing. This therefore calls for a cautious approach to borrowing so that the government can achieve its policy on promoting private sector-led growth. In addition, Mr. Speaker, the committee has taken note of the emerging inflexibility of the monetary policy due to the interest rate capping law that was passed by this House about a year or so ago. It is therefore our considered view as a committee that the interest rate capping law can be reviewed and modified in a way that addresses the negative outcomes, particularly with regard to its impacts on monetary policy.
The draft budget document has earmarked 5 billion shillings and another 4.7 billion shillings for conditional grants to marginalized areas. Nicholas Nduati, News Hour Business.